Okay, so the question says, find f prime of 4, and we're given that f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 3 over the square root of x. So the important thing here is understanding the identities of exponents and knowing how to change that in from a radical into an exponent. So we know that this is the same thing. So the square root of x is the same thing as x to the 1/2. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do an extra step right here. I'm going to change this to 3 over x to the 1/2. Now we don't want to do this with this in the denominator. So when we have this in the denominator, if we want to make this, put this in the numerator, we just need to make this a negative exponent, all right? So that's just a rule that you need to know. So if we rewrite this one more time, we have f of x equals x to the 1/2 plus 3 times x to the negative 1/2. So this is the same thing as this. We just rewrote it. And now we're going to find the derivative. So f of x is equal to 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. All right, so we just subtracted 1 from 1/2. And then we're going to multiply 3 times negative 1/2. So that's negative 3/2. And when we subtract 1 from negative 1/2, we get negative 3/2. And now we're going to rewrite this back in the radical. And I'm sorry, this was the, from here to here, we found the derivative. So let me put that, the prime right here. Okay, so we have the derivative and we want to change it back into a radical. So we've got a negative exponent. So this is currently in the numerator, so let's put this in the denominator. So we have 1/2 square root of x minus, and again, we've got a negative exponent, so this is going to go in the denominator, 3/2. And we've got radical x, and x is to the 3rd power, okay? And lastly, we're going to plug 4 in for this new equation. So f1 of 4, or f prime of 4, we have 1/2 square root of 4, and this is going to be 4 cubed right here. All right, so this first part, let's go ahead and start solving. We know the square root of 4 is 2, so we have 1/2, got 2 times 2 right here. And so we want the square root of 4 cubed. We know that 4 cubed is 64, and so we know the square root of 64 is 8. So we have 2 times 8. Now we just got to simplify. So we have 1 over 4 minus 3 over 8 times 2 is 16. And we just need this to have the same denominator. So I'm going to multiply this as 4 over 4. So we have 4 over 16 minus 3 over 16. So the final answer is 1 over 16. So f prime of 4, 1 over 16. And for any further questions, you can email me at Chelsea the math tutor at gmail.com.